Welcome back. BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma on Friday alleged that she has been receiving death and rape threats after an alleged fact-checker tweeted a video of her remarks on Prophet Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Nupur claimed that Mohammed Zubair, co-founder of fact-checking website, put out a heavily edited video from one of her debates saying Zubair will be wholly and solely responsible if anything untoward happens to her or any of her family members. We have with us Nupur Sharma, who will now speak about this ordeal in detail. Nupur, appreciate you joining us and speaking with us. First question, help us understand your ordeal and how did this entire issue start?
So I was participating on a debate on an English media channel, and I was reiterating as the Honorable Supreme Court Dr. Justice Chandrachud had observed when he was apprised when the Gyanvapi issue had reached before him that meme making and name calling hasn't stopped. Jokes are being made to hurt sentiments, and I was repeatedly telling people not to do it. But most certainly, the fact is that in spite of the Honorable Supreme Court's observations, nobody is following suit, and in spite of repeatedly requesting, nobody was actually listening and continued to name call what has been found and sealed in the Wazukhana. Now thereafter, it so happened that the debate went on, and I quoted from some scriptures, and that's it. And day after, Mr. Zubair, Mohammed Zubair, who I believe is some kind of a fact checker, I would call him a fake news spreader, picks up, and that video, edits it selectively, uploads a portion of it and says that I'm trying to abuse, hate monger and also, insult another religion, which perhaps is something is never my intention ever. What has actually happened is because of the fake news spread by Mr. Mohammed Zubair, who likes to call himself a fact checker, and I asked him, why don't you show the whole truth? And why don't you actually show as to how the full debate went? Mr. Zubair, started to duck the question, dodge the issue, and said something like, why don't you upload a video on so-and-so channel, as if I work in some channel, of so-and-so Dharam Sansad, as if I was a part of Dharam Sansad or ever have supported something like the Dharam Sansad. So he was obviously employing diversionary tactics. But what has actually come to the fore is, the fake news peddled by the so-called fact checker has unleashed an army of some criminal minds who from the world over, not only in India, who from the world over, be it in England, be it in Dubai, be it in Pakistan or in Southeast Asian countries, along with Indians, various groups are basically writing in death threats, rape threats, beheading threats, not only to me, but also to my family members. My simple question is this: we live in a civil society. My simple question to somebody or anybody who's issuing these threats, most certainly that itself is illegal. If I have quoted from certain scriptures and my knowledge is wrong, I offer you, come, correct my knowledge, give me a factual response. Correct. What is this behavior of issuing death and rape threats? And unfortunately, I have read around 70,000 plus messages ever since Mr. Zubair put up a selectively edited video on his account. I have received 70,000 plus threats saying Gustakh hai Rasul ki ek hi saza, sar tan se juda, sar tan se juda. There is a picture which has some mark on it. I can show it to you. I mean, it is amazing in a democracy such as ours, wherein the Honorable Supreme Court has also said freedom of expression, dissent and all these are a safety valve of a democracy. Come and debate. If I am factually incorrect, I invite a senior cleric. Mr. Zubair has no knowledge, most certainly. But I invite a senior cleric to come and correct my knowledge. I'll happily take back my argument. But to twist it to say that I'm insulting where I'm not, that I'm assuming where I'm abusing where I'm not, and that I'm spewing hatred. Well, I'm sorry, I'm quoting from your text. The entire basis of the question will change if you're saying that I'm spewing hatred.
Okay.
Why are you I would say, and I've already lodged a complaint with the Commissioner of Police, if anything untoward happens to me or any member of my family, it is 100, not 100, 150% Mr. Mohammed Zubair should be held responsible.
Nupur, this is definitely a very precarious situation. I want you to tell our viewers, what is the kind of harassment that you're facing? What are the kind of threats that you have received so far?
Some people are using ling for shivling, and they are attributing to how many times my mothers would have been raped to produce me. I have received Sir Tan Se Juda at least 70,000 plus times on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on my email, on phone calls. In fact, I would like to tell you, in the morning on my older residential address, I had a bunch of people asking for me and my whereabouts. I have some distant family still living there. That's the reality of the unleashed harassment and the attempt to terrorize and to communally vitiate the atmosphere and cause communal disharmony that has been spearheaded and led by Mr. Mohammed Zubair, a fake spreader of alt news. And that's why I urge all learned people to come forth, have a civil debate. Let's engage in a civil debate. I'm offering. If I'm wrong, I'll take back my argument. But if I start showing you some videos of some senior scholars and some clerics, they are saying the same thing that I just reiterated on the television. But to edit that video and selectively and heavily edit that video and upload that, well, the ball is in Mr. Zubair's court as to how he was trying to cause communal disharmony in the country.
Right, true. It's a travesty the way you described it. But tell me, Nupur, have you filed a complaint and has the police responded?
I had tagged the police yesterday. The civil society is generally very concerned, and I would like to thank everybody who's been calling me. They all are saying that you need to be very careful. I'm getting calls from the world over, not just India. And both from people who are settled abroad or people who are visiting abroad, most certainly from all walks of life from within the country, that I need to be more careful, especially of my family's well-being, because we have had instances like Kamlesh Tiwari. And if on the fake news spread by a so-called fact checker, if any untoward incident happens against me or my family members, I am again saying Mr. Mohammed Zubair of Alt News is going to be wholly and solely responsible. After I tagged the Delhi police, they have contacted me, and I have met the Commissioner of Police at the headquarters today, and I have communicated whatever little, and to my surprise, I would say they were in the know, because they gave me an intelligence input that this is not just, on social media or just phone calls. They have intelligence input that I do have a severe threat to my life.
Nupur, you said you've met the police. What demands have you posed in front of them? What are you asking from the police?
My immediate demand is protection of my family members and of myself, and to please investigate all those people who are asking for spreading terror, who are spreading fake news based on a heavily edited video put up by Mr. Mohammed Zubair, and also trying to twist a narrative and thereby causing extreme duress to my family members, to my party colleagues, and to the general public at large.
Nupur, I want to know from you, why do you think your video was altered as you're claiming it to be? Do you think you were specifically targeted?
Well, Mr. Mohammed Zubair has a problem. He was recently accused of child abuse. Everybody knows that. He harbors a mindset wherein he wants to twist anything and everything and not dabble in a civil debate, but twist it out of context and produce it to you and peddle a fake narrative as if somebody's sentiments have been hurt or not. That's what he does for a job. Otherwise, he seems to be pretty jobless. I have challenged Mr. Zubair to put up the entire video, and he responds by saying, why don't you put up a video on so-and-so media channel of so-and-so gathering? Neither do I work in a media channel, nor was I a part of any gathering in some other state that Mr. Zubair decided to respond to me with. If I'm factually incorrect, he supposedly is a fact checker. Sorry, fake news spreader. Correct me factually. Why have you actually tried to, build a false narrative and egg on, spearhead and lead a targeted and commonly charged attack on me and my family members? That's why I say I wholly and solely hold him responsible.
Nupur, you've spoken about Mohammed Zubair. According to you, who is he? He's somebody obviously you've accused of doctoring the video and posting online. What do you know of him?
Supposedly a fake news spreader, likes to call himself a fact checker, and from all of this, perhaps, I hate to say it, but a person of a criminal bent of mind and with very radical fundamentalist ideas.
And Nupur, do you stand by what you originally said, which is the undoctored clip?
Whatever I have said is for public consumption. I invite anybody to come and prove me factually incorrect. I'll happily take my statement back. But to adduce that I'm trying to spread hatred by quoting from a script, or I'm abusing, which I clearly am not, or that I'm trying to, indulge in some kind of hate speech, perhaps, well, the basis of the question will change if that's what these people are trying to suggest has happened.
Nupur, one last question before we let you go. How do we have conversations on sensitive topics without people being threatened and without harassment and violence coming into the picture?
We should have open discussions, like the Honorable Supreme Court has stated, not only free speech but dissent within reasonable restrictions, free speech with reasonable restrictions, but also dissent is the safety wall of the democracy and a thriving democracy like ours. But when you ask me this question, I will question you back. That question should be posed to Mr. Zubair, who I believe is absconding after vitiating or attempting to vitiate the communal harmony of this, the atmosphere and the communal harmony, and causing communal disharmony in this country.
Nupur, I appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us, and I hope you stay safe. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.